sense. Come on, make.
What's good, y'all? Let's Make Sense of It podcast. We are back for another week, and like we always say,
the truth you don't want, but you definitely need it.
You definitely need it. I go by the Bo Vance.
And I'm Ash.
Like always, follow us on Instagram. Let's Make Sense of It _ Let's Make Sense of It _ If you are watching us on YouTube, make sure you hit that subscribe button. And if you are listening to us on any of your listening platforms, Apple, Spotify, etc., make sure you leave a review. Make sure you follow us, and make sure. Just leave all positive stuff,
Don't all positive stuff. Now, you ain't getting it.
Yeah, probably not. But
leave all stuff.
Yeah, there we go.
And we'll just block it.
But we are back again. So this week, it's been a couple weeks.
Y'all missed this. Probably me. Not me.
He's starting off petty. All right. So this week, we're going to touch on this topic. We're on the you versus society. You versus society, and I'm going to kind of break it down what that means, and then we're going to get into it. So basically it means along the lines, do you want certain things because you want them or because society tells you you should or shouldn't? So we're going to go down the list and work our way that way. So let's start with kids first. Let's start there. Do you want kids because you want kids, or do you want kids because society tells you that you have to have kids?
I don't think it's a society thing. I think that happens like in your family. Mm-hmm. Like if you you got if you got a bunch of cousins, if you're like the girl, you're one of the girl cousins, and all the rest of your girl cousins already have kids, and you're like the last of the Mohicans. Like you ain't got no kids, you already living your best life, and everybody asks you at every family function, oh, when you gonna have some kids? Or when there's gonna be your time, or every time, or you might just come around them, you ain't seen them in a minute. Now you a little fat, not fat. You might have got a little thick, your hips unspread, and they like, oh, you ready? You in that season to have a kid, and it's just like, no,
not you in the season.
No, I don't want to have a kid just yet, or I'm not ready. I think that comes more of a pressure from family more so than society. Until you get out into the world and you're having conversations with people that have kids, and you might tell them the reason you don't want to have kids, and they try to change your mind to make it seem like, they just in heavenly bliss that they have kids.
Right. It's crazy because when you think about it, well, one, I have a daughter, but when you think about it, having kids is probably one of the most selfish things when you think about it, because just think about it this way. We know how fucked up the world is. Like, we say it every day. We know how fucked up it is, how racist it could be, how dealing with inflation, dealing with everything, how, all of that along the lines. But people still decide, you know what, I'm going to bring a child into this fucked up world. That's the crazy part when you think about it. Like, you know how bad it is, but you still want to bring a child into this world. Because when you think about it, what are some reasons people really have kids? It's usually a personal reason.
Yeah. It's
never really a reason that has to do with actually having a kid. It's always because they want to feel loved.
I mean, I think everybody that had a kid, when when you have this kid, you're birthing a new generation. I think everybody kind of has that mindset that maybe their kid in that generation may change something in the world. Like what we're going through right now, they particularly won't say actually go through it, but it won't affect them personally as much as it is affecting us right now, because we can see it, we can understand it. It's our reality. But kids, you shelter your kids up to a certain age. If they're babies or toddlers, they don't see as much, basically, or whatever. They don't see as much turmoil as the world is. You kind of put on their fun glasses, for most of life. You don't want to blatantly tell your kid out there, like, oh, I don't want you going outside because somebody's going to wind up shooting you. Like, you're not going to tell your kid that.
Right, obviously.
So you coddle them.
Scare them.
I mean, exactly. So, I mean, I think people say, you have to, everybody, as you got to repopulate.
Yeah, everybody.
You got to be.
True, because there's a lot of.
Multiply.
It's a lot. It's a lot of people don't know, but it's a lot of people that don't want to have kids, and that's just off the table. They're perfectly fine with that. They don't worry about having another generation. They don't worry about nothing. If it just stops with them, it stops with them.
Yeah, I mean, there'd be certain days I'd be on the fence, because I'd be like, do I really want to deal with the fact that, I have to give up my time, I have to give up my sleep, I have to now I have to have more patience. I gotta really watch the way that I talk to people. Like it's a lot.
Yeah.
So, and then some days I'd be like, no, I can have a kid, I'd be good.
Right.
I'd be a good mom.
And then some people they have kids and they're struggling. They were struggling before the kid, and they thought the kid was going, maybe give them an extra motivation, and then that motivation never comes.
Now you extra stressed because you can't feed you or the baby. That's a problem.
What you about to say? Oh, I thought you was about to say something. All right. Next one. Income. Income. When it comes to your salary and stuff, do people tend to want to have a certain amount of money because, you know, society says you have to have this to be considered successful, or is it because, you know, that's what they want?
That's I give you 50-50.
Yeah, I think it's
yeah.
I think it's, I don't know.
I give you 50-50 because every generation has that. Like, you know, you go back to the 50s and 60s, the man had to work. You bring home money to take care of your wife, the bills, the kids. You want the American dream. You want the house. You want the driveway. You want the new Chevy or whatever car was popular during that time. And then every generation has that. You constantly want to do better. But in our generation, I give it more so people are pushing entrepreneurship more.
Right. And that was going to be what I was going to say.
And so people have, you know, this, you know, facade, this lifestyle that they see everybody else have. So they see the bags, the shoes, you see the materialistic things, you see them taking trips, you see the videos, you see the pictures, and you just like, I want that to be my life. And it's just like, now how do I get there?
Right.
Yo, I feel like everything that everybody see is yo, you can do it. Mm-hmm. Like, I feel like stuff that may be a big excessive is probably like the like in our culture is the money flashing and stuff like that.
Right.
Like I feel like everybody wants that some sort of way, or like, oh, I got all this money, I need to go do this. And it's like a lot of stuff that we see is not really what it is. Like a lot of like, especially like rap culture.
Yeah.
All right, you might have all that money, but a lot of these rappers, they lease their cars.
Yeah.
And they still owe their record company all that money back.
Yeah.
You know
Like that's why a lot of them, it looks good right now, but then you see, give it 5-10 years, and they're trying to fight to get their money for the masters. They're trying to do all of this because it was cool at the moment. You got all the money, you live the life, everything. But now they get older, ain't no retirement plan for rappers.
I mean, I think you should just have the income that you're comfortable with. Like, if you want more out of life, then you know you have to make more. So if you want to travel the world, you know, at a 9-to-5 is not going to get you to travel the world because you have to be at that 9-to-5.
Right.
You don't get that much vacation time. You got to go through 1,000 loops just to get that time off.
Right. Or I mean, but some people, they get jobs where their job is to travel the world.
Yeah, and
so
that's a hand-in-hand work thing. Like, I'm working, but I get to do something that I actually enjoy. So I'm doing something I enjoy, so it doesn't feel like work to me.
True. Because that was actually my next one was the certain jobs. Like, do people get certain jobs because they actually want the job, or is because, you know?
Right now it's just money.
I think it's just
everything about money.
I think everything's just money.
It's not too many people out here working. Like, I was talking to a guy the other day, and he, I was in a training class, and he was telling me he went to school to be an engineer. Mm-hmm. And during that time as an engineer, he was making $100K a year. $100K a year. That's what he went to school for.
Right.
And he left that job to go back working at the bank. So he took a major pay cut because he was miserable in that field. So it's just like, sometimes it is about the money, but some people is just like, it's not worth my sanity.
So yeah, sometimes people just they're what they say. They always say, if you do what you love to do, the money will eventually come. And I think that's true. You just never know when it's going to come, but I think people would rather go to work and want to be happy instead of waking up like, fuck, I gotta go to this place again. I gotta go to this place today.
Everybody would like to sit home and collect a check or do something that they enjoy doing and collect a check. Like, people that become professional gamers, like, did they actually think when they were kids and they were sitting there playing a PlayStation that I would be doing this for a living and making money?
I'm kind of jealous of them people. Like,
I ain't gonna lie, that's the new hustle.
That is the new hustle. That is the new hustle. Like,
or these kids that are literally making, and their parents are making them YouTube channels, and they are unboxing toys. Like, kids are watching other kids play with a toy instead of playing with the toy themselves.
Yeah, I got to think of something for my
Like, it's so many ways to make money in this world, legal and illegal. But
you just got to find the right.
You just got to find your niche.
You got to find the right niche, like you said. Listen, you could take your legal money, or I'm sorry, you could take your illegal money and turn it into some legal money.
That's called money laundering, and it's still illegal. It makes it still illegal. Like, I'm not understanding. Like, no, you can't do that.
I think we have a space where it's all about the money. It don't really matter what the job is. Mm-hmm. As long as you can make money and live somewhat comfortable, I think that's kind of what all that matters. Because a lot of stuff that we see on social media, whatever, we can do it. Like, I'll be looking up flights all the time. Like,
it ain't crazy.
Like, it's like $500 round trip to go to Paris, one stop. I'm like, that's cool, 12-hour flight. That's really not that bad. No. I'm cool with that.
Yeah, because you figure the flight's gonna be the flights. Like, they don't change because you make this amount of money and this person made this amount of money. They're gonna change the flights.
But then people get there
and they don't have nothing to do.
You ain't got no money. Like when I used to see a lot of times, I used to be at work and I used to be mad because I would get on like Instagram and I see all these people like going to Miami, you going on trips, and I'm just like, this motherfucker, I know they make like less than me.
Listen, you know,
that's pandemic money.
Straight pandemic money.
Listen, but then some of them they'll get there and they sharing hotel rooms. They had a rinky-dink hotel, or they far deep in a hotel room. They far away from the main strip, and I be just like, see, I can't go on a trip like that. I'm bougie. I want to be in a nice ass hotel, and I want to be when we close to shit.
Social media is all about how it looks online, and how to get that caption. The whole time they got the fire caption, they got the fire fit, and they got the fire. They at the place, but they don't show you nothing else.
At a 2-star hotel,
absolutely, they don't show you nothing else.
Or they be at 5-star resorts and nobody got no money. You can't do no excursions. Everybody just on the resort. That's fine.
One person stays at the resort, and then everybody else just happen to work their way over to the pool parties and everything, act like they was at that resort the whole time.
There's a lot of shit to do on the resort, but take your ass on some adventures if you going out the country. Like, I'm not understanding it.
I'm gonna get my money's worth. I'm not going nowhere and not blowing no bag.
Yeah,
facts.
It ain't that much. Depends on what you're trying to do. You know, Groupon, and it's coupons out there. You can ball on a budget and have fun.
It's funny, you tell people you go on vacation, you tell them how much you spend. They're like, damn, you spend that much? I could never spend that much. And I was like, you could never go on this vacation either.
You will not make it.
You will not.
You cannot sit with us.
Yeah, you will not be there. The worst thing you could do is go on vacation and then have somebody there that's constantly complaining about the price of something, about doing this, about doing that. You knew damn well that it was going to be. That's because people they book their flights and they like, all right, they cool and that's it. No, you gotta
make sure your hotel room is at least paid for before you get there. If you're gonna do prepayment, make sure you got the money to pay for it when you get there.
Exactly. And it's okay to travel outside of Miami too. I'm just going to throw
Miami
it out
is
there.
fun.
Miami is fun. Miami is very fun.
Like, I could do a couple weekend trips to Miami.
I'm tired of seeing y'all in Miami. Go to somewhere else.
I mean,
make it past the East Coast.
Do what you enjoy. Do what you enjoy. Some people,
but that's some people. That's some people get away where you get away. Ain't nothing wrong with that. Plus, Miami is beautiful. High as shit, but it's fucking beautiful.
It is not that high. Vince just be out here balling.
It depends.
Be out here balling.
It depends where I'm going.
Just,
all right, so the next one, body type. Is it for? Most likely. No, I don't think men are really out here getting their body done. I don't know. Shit,
I think they are.
Yo, they said Ben. I don't know if y'all know somebody. This he was an artist, but now he's like, he's more so on the entrepreneur side. His name Bando Kevo or something like that. Mm-hmm. And he got a
oh shit, what he get?
It was clowny. They kept trying to say he had a BBL, but he had got like he had got lipo. So
he got big abs.
He was a husky.
Made his butt look bigger.
Yeah, like he was husky, and he just basically made him like he just took the fat out, and then he looked slimmer, but he's still buff. It's just you can actually see his muscles.
That's a bad job. Body type. Is it body type really for the female, or is it because society tells her she needs to have it?
It all depends on how she feels about it. Some people go to the gym and they don't, and whatever workout they working with or whatever diet they working with is not working for them. So it's not giving them the body that they want.
Nutritionist or something to figure out.
It's not giving them the body they want. I'll give you a prime example. I think her name is Summerella. She was on diet. She went to the gym. She did fitness, all that, and it wasn't working. Everything was slimming, but it wasn't like forming to where she wanted it.
Right.
So she got the surgery to get it sucked in places that she wanted to sucked in for the form that she wanted.
Yeah,
now I'm not gonna say that every female that goes get a BBL, fat reduction, lipo, whatever the case, they all do it for society standards and to look like a lot of the women that are all getting the same exact body.
Right.
Some of them do it for health reasons, or they just want to feel good about themselves, and going to the gym just ain't it for them. They want the foundation before they go to the gym.
People always say health reasons, but you could be big and have not one thing health related wrong with you. That's the thing. People think body type, just because your body type healthy, that means you're healthy. That is not the case always, at all.
Well, I mean,
there's a lot of bigger people. They be like, damn, that's fast life. I ran into a motherfucker like that. He was like, he said, I ain't got no high blood pressure, no diabetes, no nothing. And you look at him, you be like, ain't no fucking way, but
that's talking about.
But I think body type, that's another thing that also could be 50-50, because there's a lot of beautiful big girls out here and they carry it very well. They don't give a fuck what nobody got to say. They don't care about none of that. Yeah, and don't let that society shit ruin how you want to carry your life.
I mean, I say health reasons because some people is overweight. and they have to,
drop shed
some pounds, and it just helps. They might not have any major health issues as far as diabetes, high cholesterol, high blood pressure.
You only want to be carrying around all that extra
gout, whatever the case may be, like all types of stuff.
Gout, damn.
I'm just saying. It can happen.
Right. Next one, monogamy.
Who?
Monogamy. Is that a societal thing to telling you that you need to?
That is definitely listen. Listen here, okay? Because I just was talking about this, and I was just like, if people were more honest that they cannot be in a monogamous relationship, the world would be a better place.
It's easier said than done.
Bullshit.
That's easy.
Like, how many problems do you think will be eliminated if a guy was just honest and said, I do not want to be in a single relationship with one person. I would like to date more people, like multiple people, and that is what I'm comfortable with.
And you know what they're gonna say? They're gonna say you should have just stayed single.
It was no. This is a prime example. The what was, I don't know his name. I forget his name. He's like 19, and the shorty was like almost 30. He broke up with her, and she was crying on Instagram, or whatever. And
I forget what the person's name is.
The simple fact that he told her that he does not want to be monogamous, and she stayed around thinking that he was going to change his mind. That's your fault. That's literally your fault. Like, you can't.
But people always think they can change somebody.
If somebody shows you who they are, believe them the first time. True. If I told you I don't want to date just one person, I want to date multiple people, please don't stay around to change my mind.
See, that's something you gotta say up front, because you can't be in the middle of a relationship and then break out. That's what
I'm saying. That's where it comes up fucked up at, because people will get into a relationship. This is men or women. Get into a relationship and then have somebody thinking, or the other person thinking, oh, it's okay. Like, we together, we all in. This is us forever. And then midway through the relationship, when they start cheating, it's just like, oh, I got a problem, or I want to date multiple people. I can't do monogamy. It's like, nigga, why you ain't tell me this in the beginning? Or it's like, sis, you could have told me this in the beginning. We could have already settled it.
True.
So,
you about to say something?
Hey,
think about it.
Go ahead and say something.
Hey, think about it.
Go ahead and say something.
It's I got brain fart.
You're gonna say, but like we said, you just can't. Like you said, that's something you gotta lay out in the beginning. Because if you just break that out like mid relationship, you with somebody 2, 3, 4 years down the line, it's like, you know what, I can't do this monogamy thing. Automatically, the person, whether it's the guy or the woman, they're gonna think, well, where did this just come from out of nowhere? It's just, were you always thinking this? Like, why did you just tell me this now?
Yeah, like,
or it could go the other way. They might be like, well, shit, I was thinking the same thing, but now that would be even crazier. that would be even crazier.
I want to meet the people in that relationship.
They was like, you know what? I was thinking the same thing. Is open relationships possible? Is that a thing?
I don't know. You talking to the
people
wrong
who I think people who don't want families can do that.
I don't know.
But I feel like we're, every generation is kind of like, this is the norm now. So, like at a young age, up until like I feel like you burn yourself out, that's kind of what they want to do, and that's kind of like the new normal to sexuality.
I guess I couldn't do it. Most men couldn't do it either. We not doing that. We not doing that.
In an open relationship?
Yeah, we not doing that.
I believe a lot of men
do that.
Niggas cannot do that.
Only guys can do that as if they already got situations lined up. Like if you
even still.
Okay, I agree with that one.
Unless it's somebody you taking personal. If you taking somebody personal, that's not gonna fly. But if it's like somebody like you vibe with, you fuck with, you know what I'm saying? It's a cool vibe. Cool, you know what? You go fuck other people, because I don't care. I don't really take you that personal. But if it's somebody personal, you don't want nobody touching them.
Until a nigga find out.
Until a nigga realize that, them days done changed. Now every Tuesday she not calling you no more. She calling Bob over there, and you in your feelings, and you upset. I'm just saying, like, because he'll agree to it. A nigga will agree to it, thinking that, it's about to be open season. I'm about to have all these bitches and and then as soon as she start messing with the first nigga,
that shit sound good.
That shit is over. That shit is over. Who this nigga? Oh, he can't come over here. Oh, you can't go there. And it's like, we going on a weekend trip to such and such. Oh, you ain't going nowhere, nigga. I'm just saying.
A weekend
if you're
trip.
in an open relationship, I can do what I want to do. Like, I can do what I want to do.
That's not flying.
Exactly.
Wait, we said you can see other people cool,
we
but
say
you're
you
not
can take
taking
vacations and
nowhere.
trips.
Open relationship means it's open season.
Hell no.
See? Prime example, ladies and gentlemen. It's not a thing. It's not a thing.
Man, they know what's going on.
It's not a thing. You telling me I can only talk to this nigga? I can go out with this nigga.
You go on
in the
vacation,
city.
now you just get.
But I'm telling you, I'm about to go on a weekend getaway. You like, oh no, that shit not going.
Talk. You just said it. Talk. That's all y'all doing is talking. Nobody said nothing about a getaway trip.
So what's the open relationship? I'm just talking to them.
Yes.
Like doing
That's the
nothing
only.
else with
That's the
them.
only problem. See,
You just see
So
it.
you
You just
telling
see
me-
it.
I told you.
So you telling me you in an open relationship and the females that you messing with, you only talking to them?
See, that's not what we.
that's not the. I told you. See, I told you, guys.
Okay.
Guys, as
No,
guys,
no,
we could never. Guys, we could never get away with it. No.
You never get away with it. As soon as I said
no,
we
because you take
vacation,
vacation. Because that's personal now. Now
it's personal.
Now it's a
period.
relationship. Now it's a
relationship.
now it's a relationship.
If I met this man and he said, and I told him my situation, I have an open relationship with my man or whatever case it may. Are you okay with that? If he said he's fine with that, we are moving forward. We are going into the future, and in that future, if he decides that he wants to take me somewhere outside of the city or state,
See?
I am allowed to go.
That's a relationship now. It's getting a little crazy. See, I told you, guys can't do this shit. Guys, because we're gonna have stipulations.
So what do y'all know with these females? Y'all just on the phone like, yeah.
We're not talking about what we doing. We
Exactly.
talking about what you doing.
The double standards in this room. It
is.
It does. All of a
It's a
sudden,
double
you like,
standard.
You going for 3
That's what it
days.
is.
Where you been at? Like what?
Is it?
No.
All right. Is it another example of something that you would do versus what society would say you should do that you can think of?
I believe. Okay, this is one thing. So I realized that people voice a lot about their relationship to the public.
Right.
A lot. Like everything that goes down in their relationship, the ins and out, what they agree and disagree on. And I feel like nobody knows what privacy is anymore when it comes to their relationship. As well as if you are in a relationship with a person and y'all may have different rules in your relationship or different things that y'all do in your relationship, and then you tell other people and they like, oh, well, how do you do that? It starts to make you question your judgment in your relationship. So people need to learn how to keep their relationship to themselves. Like that circle, that bond that you and that other person have should not be entered with anybody else.
Yeah, because I don't know how many times we heard the same conversation or the same topic every day. If it ain't the 50-50 thing, if it ain't the splitting the bills thing, if it ain't this person got to pay for the rent, this got to do that, it's the same. It's almost like it's like once a week. It's like once a week now. It's the same fucking thing every day. Do what makes you happy in your relationship. Stop trying to tell people and judge people on what they do in their relationship. I understand. Okay, so her and her man go 50-50. Okay, that works for them. Okay, this guy pays her bills, but okay, that works for them. Like everybody's gonna do something different. Everybody's gonna think a different way, and they shouldn't be judged because all right, this is that. Because there's a lot of people that stay out of those conversations because they know what the fuck they got going on, so they just be like, oh, all right.
A relationship between two people is that relationship between them two people. They have an understanding that no one else has to understand. Nobody else has to understand it. You ain't got to wrap your mind around it. You ain't got to ask 10 million questions. Bitch, mind your business. Because it's none of your business. You don't have to understand why we do this. Or when you come around, this is how we act. You don't got to understand it.
Everything ain't meant to be understood.
This is not your reality. This is mine. So mind your business. Stay over there.
Yeah, but like I said, a lot of social media contributes to that. Because people always, in shit. Minding people's business, want to know what the fuck's going on. That's kind of going to feed into my 2
like
cents
that
segment.
would never be me, or my man would never. Stop saying that.
Yeah, we're not doing that.
Because your man is out here nevering like a motherfucker, ain't he? Yeah.
How y'all feel about social media personalities versus somebody's personality when you see them in person?
You can be anybody you want to be online.
Everybody's tough online.
Everybody's
a killer online.
What? A killer.
Everybody's a drug dealer online.
Everybody is just famous online. Everybody can have all these conversations through DMs. Then when you get in front of me like this.
Yeah, everybody got money. Exactly. Not a conversation in the world.
Y'all go to dinner? Oh, this is...
Yep. Taking a picture. That's it. That's all. You be like, damn, I wasted my time with her.
At the end of that, it's either you getting something or like
or
what
not.
we doing. Because the entire time y'all didn't talk, y'all didn't have a conversation, but you got the DMs to prove that the conversation was lit. So you thinking when y'all meet up, this day gonna go nice.
You know, once like text messages and DMs and everything started, a lot of the actual talking part of things just kind of got cut out. Like when we came up, we was on the phone. We was mad when we couldn't get on the phone.
Right. Exactly. Shit was free. Like
exactly. We was mad about that. We had a thing called the party lines. I know some of y'all young. Y'all might not know what the fuck. We actually had conversations, and I think the conversation era died once the text messages and the DMs and everything started. So you could say all types of wild shit through text. People misunderstand text sometimes too. Like you might write something like, "Oh, that sounds crazy," but they might have been saying it another way. That's why you got to have certain conversations on the phone to figure out that person's tone. Because like, why did they say this way the whole time?
They
didn't even say that.
Call this person. Like, don't go on a date with somebody you only been texting for 5 days, and then when you get to the dinner, the movie, the park, or whatever kind of date y'all trying to have, they ain't got nothing to say.
That's weird.
And it's awkward. And it's not even an awkward silence when you comfortable. It's an awkward silence when you know it's awkward and you want that moment to be over.
Yeah, because I can see if it was y'all first. Well, even if it's y'all first time meeting, y'all been talking. So it's not like just first time meeting, first time just everything.
Some jokes lined up.
Something.
It should be like a good time. Like
something corny. It don't even matter.
Something corny.
Figure something out the big
Do y'all ever see any of y'all friends be like, "Yo, this person not like that," but they be posting this
all the time.
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 Or you see some shit online, you be like, damn, I know this whole situation, but I ain't got nothing to do with that. That ain't my business. They talking crazy about this situation. I ain't got nothing to do with
like, you be like,
I ain't got nothing to do with that.
Last week I swore this bitch was telling me about another nigga. Who the hell is you posting?
Yeah, I ain't never getting back with this nigga. I ain't never back with this chick. And here we are.
You just scratch your head and keep going. I'm just gonna keep scrolling. I support you from
Stop trying to figure out people's lives through social media, because it's never gonna happen. Because for the good or the bad, just listen. Person might have freaking 100, 200, 300,000 followers and ain't got not $1 in their fucking pocket.
That is a shame.
That is a shame. It's funny. I seen an interview with.
If they ask for $1 from all 200 followers, they can get some money.
Just think about that. just think about that. It's funny. It's funny you say that, because if it would not be a lot of broke people out here. If you want to buy followers, like if everybody gave you $1, y'all would just have money out this motherfucker. It's funny. So I seen an interview with Ha Davis, and he was saying he didn't really make any money till he hit 6 million followers before he started making real money. Yeah, he was making money. He was making money, but he didn't start making real money, that like life changing money, until he hit 6 million followers, and that's pretty crazy. Like, cause I think he said he had 1 million, and it didn't take him long to get to 1 million or whatever. But like, he wasn't really. That's crazy. People judge you based off your followers. Cause listen, it's a lot of billionaires out here with social medias that got 30,000 followers. They got billions of dollars, but there's a lot of people that's got millions and hundreds of millions that ain't got no money to their name. And that's sad to think about, because just because you have a following don't mean you have an actual,
People just like to look at you.
Yeah.
They just like to look at you. They just want to watch you.
Stare.
They don't think you hold that much.
I go to social media and make people laugh. That's my sole purpose of going to social media.
I go to social
media. In the podcast too. Yeah, and too laugh. In the podcast too.
I don't care what nobody say. TikTok.
It's the
I'm glad it was created.
It's the greatest thing. You can find dates. You can find places to go. You can find everything on there.
All types of stuff. It's really it's very resourceful.
Listen, TikTok is the way to go. All right. So let me do the 2 cent segment first before we get to everything else. So this week's 2 cent segment, I got 2 of them. First, we'll start with the Boston Celtics coach and Nia Long first. We'll start with
you know how many
We'll start with him first.
People is upset.
Let's start there. What's your thoughts on that situation?
How you cheat on Nia Long? What?
That's what all the niggas. The memes from that. It's fucked up situation. Let's get this right. It's fucked up situation. But the Black Twitter is the funniest place in America.
She's like a black staple. Like she in her 50s, and you see how she look. Like I know people that watch basketball knew who he was, but like nigga, nobody knew who you was.
If I told you he played with Shaq and Kobe in 04, would you know that? No, you wouldn't even know that nigga played with Shaq.
Like, who the fuck is you?
If I told you he was on the Sixers staff a couple years ago, niggas that in the Philly wouldn't even know who the fuck he was. He got the Boston Celtics. All right, so it's 2 ways to look at it. It's 2 ways to look at this. You could look at it on the conspiracy side, because it is Boston.
It's a conspiracy?
No. On the conspiracy side, it is Boston, and he's their first black coach.
Oh, you think
along those lines? So it could be some inside. I think he's their first black coach. I don't know any other black coaches before him, but I think he's their first black coach. And if anybody knows anything about Boston, they have a reputation of treating certain athletes and people a certain way. Because for the Celtics to handle it this way is pretty crazy.
Because he can't coach.
He got suspended for a year. Just think about that. He's got suspended for a year. The same amount of time that the owner from the Suns / Mercury, he's getting suspended for a year for something way worse.
What's in his contract? And who was the girl?
That's what everybody trying to figure the fuck out.
Somebody said that she was a trainer. Then come to find out she was booking his like travel arrangements.
Yeah, we still don't know who she is, but that's pretty wild.
So that right there, I feel like it's a lot of. I saw Stephen A. Take on it, and I agree with everything he was saying. As far as why is him cheating news to us, yeah. And that's actually a private matter. That has nothing to do with whatever you guys got going on in your organization.
Right.
Now, if it's per policy that was not okay to do and suspend him for that, cool. Make sure y'all discipline whatever she was doing too, because if it's consensual,
right, then
she deserves some kind of discipline too. But other than that, if it's per policy that they were not allowed to do that, because there's a lot of companies that, hey, if you're in this position, you can't deal with people here or X, Y, Z.
And if you do, you gotta make it known automatically.
Right.
Yeah. So, bro, you're married. On top of being married, you're dealing with somebody that works in the same company as you. That's against company policy, because people either in management or higher up cannot deal with regular employees.
Correct. You're the head coach of the basketball team, so you over everybody pretty much, except for the GM and owner. You that figure. So they could look at it like, all right, he was using his power, he was doing this, he was doing that. The fact that the person, first of all, TMZ just get everything. The fact that the person was booking the trips, that's crazy.
But the fact that he didn't tell, he knew that was my next point. Public.
That was my next point too.
He told Nia Long 3 days before it went public.
I thought he didn't tell her. I thought she found out via the public.
He told her 3 days before. Sheesh. 3 days before it went public. That's how she was blindsided, because she didn't know it was happening at all. But she was told by him 3 days before it went public that it was coming out publicly. Not that he was having an affair, that it was coming out publicly that he was having the affair.
Back to what we just said, I don't understand why that needed to go public. If y'all could have suspended him conduct detrimental to the team for the year, and none of that probably would never got out. He probably would never had to speak on it. None along those lines. It was still, of course, it would have got back to Nia Long and it got back to Eric. Somebody along the line would have found out. But the team didn't need to do that, because I'm sure there's plenty of things happening in these organizations.
Definitely setting an example.
They make sure, I guess you had to make an example for everybody.
I'm setting an example.
Just make sure they keep the same energy if it comes to a white coach.
You shouldn't have done this. I'm setting an example. No, they're not gonna keep the same energy when it comes to a white coach. Come on.
Have you seen them talk about Brett Favre lately? Him stealing that money from using all the welfare money to try to build a stadium?
Yeah, I feel like a lot of I think they're trying to like speak on it more, because it's a racial thing. So it's like, oh, y'all gonna do this to him? Well, what about Brett Favre? But Brett Favre isn't really super involved in the media, like.
Right, immediately, he's a coach, or he's in the NFL anymore. Yeah, but he's still a big name or whatever. But yeah, that's a bad look. He took 2 L. He took an L in the finals, and he took an L with Nia Long.
And
let me backtrack just off topic. They're only engaged. They're not married. Mm-hmm. They've been engaged for 7 years.
She just moved to Boston. They were looking for a house to
2 weeks before that, or a week before that, I think. Her and the son.
Yes. Like, they just got settled in Boston, and they were looking for a house to move in together as a family, and then this comes out.
Listen, we need to learn as a society to stay out of celebrity business too, because everybody under the comments, oh, it's Nia Long, oh, it's this, oh, it's that, and the same shit happened to your girlfriend yesterday.
Not to your girlfriend yesterday.
That shit happened to your aunt yesterday. It happened to your mom yesterday.
I think the big thing with people being in celebrity drama, like, I wouldn't take it seriously. I'm gonna take it as gossip. Like, if I read a magazine, if I read a book, or if I saw it on the news, I'm gonna talk about it and we're gonna go about it then. Like, don't get invested into it.
Yeah, that's the thing. When you take a side, you act like you know them personally.
Yeah, don't get invested into it. I don't know that man from a can of paint. I just learned about him, and like, I don't know him. Just
like we could say, he's like, oh, he cheated on Nia Long, which was wrong. But we don't know Nia Long. We know her by movies and everything else. We thinking of like she got cheated on, just her being a figure of Nia Long. Like, that's fucked.
I thought the same thing.
That's crazy.
When Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce.
Yeah,
it's like, bitch, what? Yeah. I'm just saying. You think
and they ain't even on social media. They should still made it to social media. That's crazy. They should ain't even know social media made it to social media.
I'm just saying, people cheat, but Listen, the world revolves around reality and somewhere to escape to. So either one.
Just think about it. The Kardashians got rich off of motherfuckers talking about their life.
Sex tape.
And sex tape too. Yeah, that too. All right.
And their dad was a famous lawyer. We're gonna put that out there too.
All right. Speaking of cheating, let me get this one. It says my homegirl's husband was found dead in a motel in Jarabacoa. I don't know how to say it. Let's just say Jamaica. Yesterday morning, he was cheating on her with some chick and drank one of those gas station pills and had a heart attack. They say he was a cop, and the cleaners who found him said he was still erect, even though he had been dead for hours. So, yeah, that's a true story too. So, if you found out this information, if you was the wife, what would your first reaction be? Would you have a reaction? Would you even care?
He a piece of shit. You's a bitch ass nigga. May you rest in peace. May you rest in hell. Fuck you. There we go.
Damn, and
that's
pretty much, you know what I'm saying, as a discussion. Nothing more, nothing less.
Nothing less. If I got kids with him, different one. He's still a piece of shit. Fuck you. Go to hell. But we gotta get his body back because his kids gotta grieve too.
You brought his body. What if you brought his body back? And you know what I'm saying, the pill was still working.
He might have to be cremated.
the pill was still working. You know what I'm saying? My pill was still smoking.
Might have to be cremated. That was what was that one? That was on Madea family funeral or that joint. Remember, it was a movie that came on. Yeah, it was a family funeral.
And
and he was still and they couldn't close the casket all the way.
Yeah, the casket kept opening back up.
Remember, it opened in the middle of the funeral. Yeah,
he's just like, oh my god. All right,
but I mean, how would you react to that? Like, if you found y'all wouldn't react to that the same way. So, but I mean,
what if the girl was if the girl cheated, she was dead?
Like, if the girl cheated, and they found her in a motel room dead.
They didn't tell me right away that was the situation.
I mean, or you kind of just thought that because, or maybe she told you she was going somewhere else and she wound up here. So what would be your first thought? Why is she in a motel room?
That's a big difference. You say you going to California and you overseas. That's a little, you know what I'm saying, that's
like, what's your reaction? Do you be like, oh, my wife, oh, my beautiful wife? Like, what,
see,
guys,
certain guys handle certain situations different. A guy might, depending on how cold-hearted of a guy is, of course he going to care, but he be like, that shit chalk. Sad to say, but that's how I be. Now, if you just an over emotional nigga and all this other shit, he might be a little bit more caring, a little bit more understanding. But some dudes gonna be like, they're gonna be hurt first. They're gonna be like, all right, like.
Well, what if you got kids?
That's a hurt piece.
Yeah, that's
if you ain't got no kids, it's like, whatever. I just find another girl.
Yeah, if you ain't had kids yet, but if you got kids now, you gotta explain the shit to your kids. That shit's hard.
Yeah, you gotta carry the burden and stuff like that.
That shit's hard. And since we ain't been, matter of fact, let's just stay on this. Since we ain't been here in a couple weeks, so one RIP the PNB Rock. What was y'all thoughts on that specific situation when it comes to locations? Because that seemed to forget. People worry about everything else, location, everything. What was your thoughts on that? Do you think that was her fault? Do you think that was just a coincidence? Do you think it could have been anything? Because I think it could have been anybody. From what they say, he was in a certain location, which was in the hood, pretty much. So people automatically
from there to say he shouldn't have been.
People automatically blamed her, but it could have been anybody in that particular place that could have lined him up. So what's your thoughts on when it comes to that? Because that's a hard one. Because she already dealing with shit as it is. Like, she just lost, her baby father. It's I don't know. It's weird.
He said in an interview that he had to check her before about that.
About too. That, right?
And I don't want to put complete blame on her, but still though, it's like, yo,
you gotta be careful when it comes to stuff like that, especially knowing the location you was at, because this particular location, 24 hours after he died, they opened right the fuck back up. So clearly, they didn't really care. Yeah.
They didn't care. I mean, when the Young Dolph joint happened, they ain't open up for like a week.
Yeah.
But that's because that shot up the actual establishment.
Yeah.
But nonetheless,
and
bro, you a celebrity, bro. You should not be moving around LA like, man, LA chilling, you know what I'm saying? For real, I'm a tourist out here. Like, I might got a crib out here before I'm just a tourist. No, nigga, you was a celebrity. Niggas gonna see you and be like, oh, I know this nigga. Oh, you got jewelry on? Oh, yeah. What's up, bro? Like, run that shit. And they don't, like, niggas is always looking to get you. It don't matter what you're doing. Like, you can be chilling, bro. You should not be moving around with no security. You should not be moving around with jewelry on. Like, bro, when you're by yourself and with your kids or a significant other, you supposed to be blend in plain sight. Literally, that's all you're supposed to do. Like, why would you go to the hood to go show love to an establishment and you don't have security, you don't have a gun on you, you just,
especially since it's not your city. Like, you don't care. I don't care.
City. Yeah. He probably can do that in Philly. Yeah. Yo, that's PNB Rock because nobody else is gonna let you get touched because they fuck with you. But you somewhere else, unknown
they don't
places,
care.
they don't give a fuck, bro. You getting everything you got on, you getting ran for.
Just think about it. Look how they handling the case now. They blaming everything. Them cops doing everything out there, but catching the motherfucker. I'm pretty sure it was 1 million cameras in that fucking plaza in that little spot right there. They nothing. See how it died down. See how it died. You don't hear nothing about it no more. You don't hear if they got leads. You don't hear about nothing. Like. Just nothing.
Shit, Charles. It's just another day.
Just another. It's fucked up, and it's just another day of rapping. It's just California, LA in general. That shit just seems to be like the Wild West out there. It's like, I think people move over there and they think it's just it's out the way, but it's real. I
think people go over there and then like you just automatically let your guard down. Like it's safer, and I don't understand why. Sometimes there are people that live there, and have that mentality. Like I live here every day, and I automatically know I would not do the shit that you're doing.
All right, it's the equivalent like when you go on vacation. Like, you out and you away and everything, but you still gotta be precautious. Like, this is not your city. I don't care how much you think you've been here and how many spots you think you know. This is not your city. Equivalent to people that come to visit Philly. I'm sure they think they can move around certain places and stuff. No, that's not that.
Just because it's gentrified don't mean it's good.
Exactly. Exactly.
Does not mean you're safer.
There's a couple spots you go to a couple.
It's built. Right by the projects, exactly. Right on the projects. So exactly. Does not mean you're safer no matter where you are. It's just the
location. And then people shut up with I don't post my location till I leave, and I'll do this and that. Shut up. Nobody asked y'all.
That's perfectly fine.
People always trying to take what they did and equivalent it to a certain subject. Nobody asked you. Nobody asked you. People always want to give it a. Nobody asked you. Nobody cares. You're not that important. Number one.
If you're not in the streets, you ain't got nothing to worry about. Motherfuckers
nobody coming at
you. Regular ass person, got a 9 to 5, don't do shit, don't sell drugs, not into nothing.
Nobody know your name, none of that. Like I don't post. Like, oh, okay.
Bro, you ain't got
Who looking for you? Your mama?
Nobody looking for you. Like, bro, you at Applebee's.
You don't even know how to use it.
You at Applebee's, bro. You talking about I can't post my. You at Applebee's. You ain't even at a steakhouse.
Like I know them fucking walls. Like I know exactly where you at.
Like, bro, you at Applebee's. Or the motherfuckers that's in the same bar every day. I ain't post my location. Nigga, you're there every day. You don't have to.
I know what stool you sit on and everything.
Yeah, that's the scary thing about like when people like they used to. I don't know if this is still as big as it like the party promotion thing when people would do that. Like they put their face on a flyer, say I'm gonna be here this day, get the money, and they probably most of the time don't show up to the fucking place, or they be there for 5 minutes and roll. Oh. Yeah, that used to be a thing. Oh, party promotion, whatever. Sad situation either way around because I had a lot of family that knew PNB Rock personally. So RIP to him. Let me ask you this. Oh, all right. So, who's the back to the 2 cents? Who's the home wrecker? The husband or the side chick?
So I'm gonna put it this way: you can't wreck a home if the door was never open.
And true, you said this before, but does the side chick does she have some type of accountability because she knows?
Yes.
Especially the side chick that knows.
I saw a post about this yesterday, and the girl was like, women should not be blamed if they get into a relationship or they start dealing with somebody that is in a relationship. That is just extremely removing the accountability for what the fuck you're doing. Everybody is accountable in that situation. If this man is married or if this man is in a relationship and you get into something with him knowing that he is in that relationship, yes, you are accountable for whatever mishap happens in that too. Just as well as he is. Now, he has a bigger part because he made a vow or he's supposed to be loyal to the person he's with. Mm-hmm. You don't know her or whatever. You don't know him, so it is what it is. But everybody's accountable.
You talking about a married man?
Or a man in a relationship.
Or just a man in general.
Nah, that shit up. If that shit up. If you married, it's like, yeah, bro, you follow shit like that.
You took vows, you took vows,
got married.
But
if you're not married, that shit up.
What if somebody in between? What if they're not married? What if they engaged?
Yeah, that shit up.
What? I'm not understanding. What the fuck is up? What the fuck is up?
So it's not this. He's saying pretty much it's not the same rules.
Bullshit.
They no rules.
There is rules.
Until you marry, no
people
rules?
cheat every day.
But wait.
Okay. Tell us more.
People cheat every day.
How?
It can be it could be so small you think that it's not cheating, but it's cheating.
I understand. All right, I could get what you're saying there.
Like people think like some could be so small. Something I had to learn. Like your intent might not have been negative, or it might have not been like, oh, let me, like I had something small. Like even with going back to the episode we talked about emojis and shit like that. You sending emojis or certain shit is a form of cheating. You might not want to look at it like that, but that shit up. Soon as somebody,
the next person could look at it as like, is you shooting a shot or something.
Somebody could send me. Now I've been chilling off the social media for a while because I'm, you know what I'm saying, got my situation.
Speak more. Go ahead.
You know what I'm saying?
Go ahead.
You're gonna get smacked out of this episode. It's cool.
Go get random. Like, wait a minute. Keep going. Go ahead.
I had to hang the jersey up. So,
okay.
So
He like Martin, episode of Martin. When he was getting married to Gina, he had the jersey of the Raptors. He had a little black book. He had to pass over to Tommy and stuff.
So yeah, all stuff like that. If you can avoid it, cool. But if you give the opportunity, you just as much as fault. Like the guys is at fault for allowing it to be there, especially the woman is trying to be pushy or like trying to, you know what I'm saying? Because you got women who don't give a fuck.
Yeah, it's a lot of side chicks I heard that they play their role. It's crazy because the people say like when they get married, they get 10 times worse. When they like, you did a different type of side chick, which is crazy. It's
So
like
a super hoe coming. So you had the original hoe. Now you get
because they think they know you're committed. They know you're not going nowhere, so they don't expect you to fucking leave.
I mean, listen, I'm saying to know what the fuck I said. Both of y'all are wrong, but you can't wreck something if it wasn't an opportunity to enter. Like
maybe they kicked the door in.
This was that's where Super Bowl come in. She like, I ain't taking no for an answer. I'm about to just run up all and through this shit. That's perfectly fine. Okay, whatever. But what Ant was saying with the emojis, that's a window.
Right.
Like you cracking the window for anything to come in. So you sent that one emoji. It could have just been the winky face or the little smirking face. You sent that one emoji. Now I'm coming back with a bunch. Now I'm about to change my strategy and see how I can get more out of you.
Not the strategy. You're a coach. You on the team. You're the coach now.
I'm changing my strategy now. I got to see how I can get more out of you. Like how far can this conversation go? Like is it just gonna stop right here at this emoji?
Right.
And then and then I'm gonna be talking to myself in this inbox?
You do.
Or is we about to exchange numbers? Right. Like, are we about to meet up? Are you about to, be hot in my conversations in your phone? Or are you, are you only calling me while you at work and everything like this? That's why I say you should never say, my nigga would never. My nigga would never, my bitch would never. Don't say anybody would never. Don't put anything past anybody. And this is not saying that everybody is out here just giving in the temptation every day. There are loyal people out here. That is very true. I know that to be true. But don't put anything past anybody because, at the end of the day, everybody's human. Somebody's bound to fuck up. Yeah. Somebody's bound to let whatever slip, and it might be something small or it could be something major. Yeah, and also major is a baby.
And also, don't go searching for something that you think is there that's not there because now you're gonna look stupid. Or now your mind gonna be all over the place. Like you just heard what she said, and then now you're like, you know what? Let me go check this nigga and make sure everything.
You won't know.
Let me go make sure everything good.
But you know these things. You get a feeling. Half the time you get a feeling when you it's not sizzling in my fucking spirit. Whatever you said, whatever you did, how you was moving, it wasn't sizzling with me. So we gonna revisit that. Right. Maybe it's a question I asked you last week. I ain't like the answer. I'm gonna ask you again this week.
See if I can niggas will forget. Niggas is done. Niggas will give a whole different answer.
You be like, So not like if I said like, oh, what you doing? If I said what you doing on a Tuesday, and you was like, oh, I'm walking across the hall, and then I asked you this week, you was like, oh, I was at Dunkin' Donuts.
Right.
And it's like, all right, that's not. I'm not going to even go into trying to figure out if you really lying. But if it's like, if you said, oh yeah, I left work at 10 o'clock on Tuesday, and then I'm asking you this week, you like, yeah, no, I left around 2. And I had to go see my mom's, and then I had to go do such and such. Nigga, you said you left at 10. So where were you at?
Damn, you damn. Nigga, stuck. No, what had happened?
Exactly. Now you scratching your head and you trying to figure out. Them wheels is turning real fast and trying to figure out the next lie. And it don't come as quick. And it never comes as quick. And it's up to you, or if it's a male or female, it's up to you whether you want to continue to get more out of them or figure out if they lying or not, what else you can figure out, or just leave it at what it is. But it's not gonna sizzle, it's not gonna settle right with you if it's still bothering you. So, ask the questions you want to ask.
There's a lot of toxicity there. Let's turn it this way. Healthy relationships. Things we could do to make our relationships better and healthier.
Stop listening to other people.
That's number one.
Stop listening to other people.
Number one, stop listening to other people trying to tell you how to live your relationship.
Communicate in your relationship. Tell them what you want, what you don't like, what you do like.
Stop right there. Communication. All right, because we talk about we talk about communication all the time, but you actually have to listen and hear what the person is saying. Not what you want to hear, not because you mad and you want to get your point across, not because they not trying to listen to what you need to understand and listen to what is being said. Because you can have a conversation with somebody, you could be communicating on your end. They not understanding what the fuck you talking about on their end at all. They listening, but in their mind, because they're mad, they might be still just like, all right, go ahead, get your point out. Now I'm gonna hit you with the counterpoint.
Yeah, I'm listening to respond, and I'm not listening to understand. I mean, that's with anything, even if it's just not a relationship. That's with just talking to somebody. Period. Like, I'm trying to talk to you.
We gotta buckle down on like trying to change the words around. So you hear a lot. Oh, you gotta listen to understand, right? And people never actually disclose
what that means,
or what that looks like. Because you'll have somebody that keep running their mouth and they keep saying shit, and then you'll have a rebuttal, and a rebuttal is just your insight on how your outlook is. Instead of doing that, the key word is comprehend. Comprehend what I just said. So either spit it back at me in another way, whereas I know you understood with a follow-up plan of, we gonna move forward doing this based on what you said. That's how that shit works.
Yeah. If I'm telling you like X, Y, and Z, and then you like, you don't repeat X, Y, and Z, but you go back to A, B, and C, and then you at D, now you at E. I don't know what the fuck was miscommunication.
That's because some people communicate to argue. They don't communicate to do nothing else. They just want to argue. Some people, just met somebody that just want to argue.
I shut down.
I
shut down.
Because at that point, then when you shut down, you get to that point, you be like, oh, now you don't listen. Now you don't care.
No, as soon as you start yelling, I checked out. I checked out for the moment.
Yeah, we are grown. I don't care if you my boss. I don't care if you my girl. I don't give a fuck. You're not going to yell at me. I will hang up on you.
But don't talk at me either.
I will. Don't talk back to me. Don't talk down to me. Don't do none of that shit. We gonna have a conversation. We are adults. Don't think I'm raising my voice. I'm not raising my voice. This is how I talk when I'm me being stern and me raising my voice are two different things. You will know when somebody is raising their voice. You don't talk that way. Well, I'm talking to it now because I'm trying to get my point across.
You just better be right too. Because don't start yelling at you wrong. Don't start yelling at you wrong. That shit.
You ever be mid argument and realize you misunderstood some shit? You realize you misunderstood some shit. You be like, shit. All right, you right.
Continue what you just said.
Right.
But before they start talking, backtrack.
Or they might have started off a certain way and you thought it was gonna go this way and it went the complete opposite way. Now you sitting there looking stupid
because you don't know how to say. You don't know what to say back. But that's when it comes into listening and you just trying to respond.
Correct.
Because if you listen to understand and comprehend, what they're saying, you kind of won't backtrack. You'll get it, and then the conversation will flow into what's the solution now.
Yeah, because that, like I said, back to what I said about people arguing, that shit is annoying. Like that's what but like you said, that's everyday life. People just want to argue. Like it's okay, I can get my point across. Listen to what I'm saying. Listen to what I'm saying. That's why the world. The country, everybody's so freaking separated because nobody want to fucking listen to the other person say. It's like my side is right,
your side is
wrong, and then this person, my side is right, your side is wrong. When we all somewhere in the middle, we can agree. We feel like the old people now, like because we 90s babies.
We are there, and
you know what I'm saying.
But people don't want to listen to us because they think as millennials we just don't have it together. We don't know what the fuck going on. Bullshit. But other ways you can keep your relationship healthy is learning that you can't make your significant other. You can't fault them for not knowing your love language or learning your love language.
So,
yes, you can.
No, you can't.
What for not knowing your love language? You can't fault them.
Let me change that. You can't fault them for not loving you the way you think you should be loved. So I would say it this way. So if your love language, I would say, is physical touch, right? Your partner's love language is acts of service. So you want hugs, you want kisses, you want to cuddle, you want to do this, gifts. And that's not acts of service. No, acts of service is they would rather, they know that you running low on something, so they'll pick it up. They know that the dishes are piling up, so they'll do the dishes. They know that, we need to go food shopping. They'll do it before you get up to do it. Those are acts of service. Things that you think about that you have to do, but somebody already does it for you.
Right.
So what I'm saying is, if your love language is physical touch and your partner's is something different, and you want them to love you that way, it's harder. Because that's not the person that they are. Maybe they're the person that, like, after a while that shit checks out. Like, I don't want to do this all fucking day.
Right.
Like, I'm over it. And then you get upset or you get an attitude because you feel as though they don't love you right. Well, it's not that. It's just that this is the way that you feel. So the way that I'm loving you is how I love you, how I see you.
Right.
It's not the way that you just want it, and it's not saying they love you less or anything like that. It's just that this is how I give my love to you, and this is how I want you to receive that love. Because the way you give your love to me is something different. Right. Because what if mine is materialistic things? Like, what if mine is gift giving?
Yeah, some people there's just gift giving. Some people don't want gifts. Some people just, like you said,
they want acts of service. Some people just want words of endearment. Like, some people want different things. You have to learn how to love somebody as you go along.
Will that last? You think that type of relationship will last though?
If you communicate.
If you got two different type of love language, like,
yeah,
it might be somebody they love getting expensive gifts. And somebody that might not like giving expensive gifts, they might.
The example I gave you is my relationship right now. My boyfriend's love language is physical touch. Mine is acts of service.
Okay.
After a while, I check out. Don't touch me.
All right.
Leave me alone. I don't want to be bothered.
You don't want to be bothered.
I don't want to be bothered. And it's not. And in the beginning, of course, he did get upset with that, but I had to make him understand, like, that's not me.
Right.
Like, I wasn't loved or, like, cuddled as a child. Like, my mom was big on hugs and everything like that. But after a while, I check out. Like, all right, I don't want to be, like, bothered. Like, leave me alone.
I just don't want to be bothered.
Mine is active service. If you see something that's dirty, before I say something, help or pick it up.
What the fuck?
So now we move forward. So now he already knows, like, after a while, all right, I'm gonna leave you alone. Like, after a while, I'll go to the other room, I'll go upstairs, or after a while, I'm on this side of the couch, you on that one. And then when I want love and affection, I'll come over.
All right. So I guess that's something it took some time for him to figure out. Y'all communicated.
You communicated.
Y'all communicated, but people don't communicate.
We already talked about
people don't communicate.
We already discussed it.
Hey, man, listen. Did you? I
thought
he was going to add something to that. Last one. Dealing with feeling alone and how to get past it. How does someone that's dealing with feeling alone, you know what I'm saying? It's getting cold. We talked about cuffing season already, you know what I'm saying? No, not even just that. That's just one. No, but just in general, like, somebody feels alone. Like, they might have somebody. They might have all the love in the world, but they just feel alone. How does somebody get past that? Because that's probably one of the hardest things to deal with. Like, they can have a support system, they can have everybody around them, but something inside of them makes them feel alone.
They gotta find a way to make themselves happy. Like, there's
internal.
That's internal. I don't really think there's no proper way of people finding I would say there's no proper guidance to trying to fix that. Like, that's like you gotta let time do its thing, because there's not. It may be a miracle. You might get a person who fixes that for you, and you didn't have to do anything, or a job, or just change the scenery, or you doing something that you finally love to do. Other than that, there's no proper guidance, and I know people that's like that all the time, and it's
you might need to seek professional help.
I mean, I think in those senses, when people feel alone, but there's, like, people around them, there's an issue that you're not dealing with or talking about.
Or it might be some type of trauma that you dealt with. Maybe you never felt loved as a kid, and you grew up, and now you just don't feel loved. You can have all the love in the world and still not feel love.
I mean, so it's all of that is internal.
Yeah, that's something.
It's like standing if somebody ever said, or you've ever heard somebody say, I'm standing in a crowded room and nobody hears me. It's because either it's something that you're not talking about personally that you're going through, or they don't notice it because you're putting up a facade that is nothing wrong.
Right.
Like, that's why they say, the happiest people are the ones that they be like, the happiest people who commit suicide. And it's just like, are they actually happy, or do you just see them as this happy person?
Right.
Like, check on the person that's constantly making jokes, that's not really taking everything serious. Like, check on that person, because that person might be dealing with something and they don't know how to talk about it or know who to talk to.
Yeah, or they don't know how to Yeah, pretty much. They don't know how to express it, and then that's their way of getting things out.
Yeah, like how do you tell somebody I feel alone, and they be like, well, you got this
people
person,
gonna look at you
this
like
person,
crazy.
and this person. They be like, I feel alone, and it's just like you ask the person, well, why do you feel alone? Can they give you a real answer?
Probably not. Wrap the show up when it comes to you versus society and everything we talked about.
Fuck society. It's like I'm playing, but I don't. You can't please society because with the year, with the times, decades, millenniums, all that. You can't please society because it's always going to be something different, and everybody's not going to be on the same wavelength on what's popular or what's trending or what's going on. It's just please yourself. Like if you're happy, within your home or within your bubble, within your circle, that's fine. Like keep it that way. Also, but make sure you know what reality is like. If we'll put it that way. So don't just be in your bubble and think you can shut out the rest of the world. Like the world is still there. Why your bubble was in it.
Yeah.
Just, But, I mean.
Live your life for you,
definitely.
Not for everybody else.
And keep some things to yourself. Yeah. Everything is not meant to be shared with everybody because everybody doesn't feel the same way you feel about it. Some people are waiting for your downfall. Some people are praying that you wind up like them. Like, them haters are real. Those spectators are real. Them people that feel as though their life is in constant turmoil, and every time they see you happy or excited or doing good in life,
or
it's downplayed. It's not important or it's not that serious, and it just makes them feel some type of way.
Yeah, man.
So watch out for that. But yeah, society you can't please. So just be happy with yourself.
Hey. That's pretty much, that's a good way to close it out. I couldn't even add nothing to that one. It's a good way to close it out. Appreciate y'all for listening, like always. Like I always say, man, common sense ain't always common, so put a little bit more smarts in the world. If you have a business, DM us. Send us an email. You want promo on the show? We gonna start offering promo on the show. So just DM us. We could talk business. We always down to talk business. If you need gear, Letsmakesenseofitpodcast.com. We're gonna work with some new gear too. It's getting close to the fall time. About to be hoodie weather again, so we're gonna work with some new stuff. And yeah, that's pretty much it. On that note, that's the boy Vince. I'll let y'all.
Make it make sense. Come on, make it make sense. Come on, make it, baby. Make it make sense. Come on, make it.